Engineering projects can be a money pit. Today, I'm going to show you some ways that I use to get super cheap parts. What's up guys, I'm Sam, and today I'm going to be heading to a few thrift stores and showing you the kinds of products that I would pick up in order to get super cheap parts for my engineering products. Let's jump into the video. What's up guys, we're here at the first store we're visiting, and it looks like they have quite a bit of furniture and stuff. I'm not sure if we'll be able to find anything good, but I'm gonna go in there and check it out, see if I can find anything useful that I might be able to use in a future project. So, let's go. What is this thing?
I have no idea.
What? What is this stuff? Oh, okay. Here's some stuff. It's probably got a potentiometer and a heating element in it. This is probably gonna have some similar stuff. These would be good things to pick up if you wanted a heating element. I actually might want to buy this. It's gonna have a high torque motor in it. I want to know how much this costs. It doesn't have a price tag. If this is a reasonable price, I'm gonna pick this up because I was literally actually saying yesterday I wanted to find a blender because I need a high torque motor for a project that's coming up. This is supposed to be a thrift store, but I think it's just a place you can go to find the best kitchen inventions ever. Why does everything except the one thing I want have a price tag? Oh, is it in the part that I knocked off? Okay, we're gonna have to check on that later. Let's come back.
Ooh, this is really what we want to see. We want to see some Sam wearing rollerblades action.
I'm not putting those on. I will exercise my hands.
Oh.
That's too hard. I'm an engineer.
That's too hard.
So we found that blender that I definitely want to get. I'll check on the price of that. I'm just going to take a trip down here, and then we'll grab the blender and check out. Actually, printers are fantastic things to get parts out of because they've got so many different motors and belts, bearings, different things like that. Some of them even have useful buttons and power supplies in them. Probably could find a good motor in that. Look at this, bins of power supplies. If you need DC power for a project, this is the place to come. There's going to be a lot of 12 volts ones in here that you can get. So that's a really good tool you can use to get power supplies for projects. I mean, literally this is $3. That's probably, what, 3 or 4 12 volt DC motors in there. I've definitely used printers for parts before. So that's a really, really good thing if you can find a printer. So obviously I'm not going to buy everything in the store, but I wanted to go down the aisle and kind of show you guys what I think each of these could be good for. So here we got a curling iron, might have a nice heating element in it for some sort of project of a water dethaler. Lots of printers, as I said before, good for motors. Again, all these power supplies that are sitting here definitely could be used for a project. More printers, and I checked on the price of that blender and it's actually $30, which I think is too much, so I'm gonna buy this shredder. Hopefully I'll get a high torque motor out of it. And I'm gonna buy a printer, pull out the DC motors once I get home, and I'll show you guys that as well. I also found this pack of single throw switches for 99 cents, so I'm gonna pick those up as well.
That old lady was real excited about Radio Shack.
She was.
She really likes Radio Shack.
She was really, really sad that they went out of business. Just got out of the first store. I got a printer, a shredder, and a pack of switches, all for $4.75. Actually, most of the stuff I bought was half off today, so I really scored there. We're on to the next store. I'll see you guys there.
children swear? What kind of store is this?
A bad one. At Betty Power.
You gonna do a little drift traking in your next video? That's what I want to see.
You don't want to see me doing anything athletic.
Oh, I definitely do.
Hey, look, it's another shredder. Do I want 2 shredders? I don't know if I want 2
I want to
shredders.
go show Mom.
I want to go show
I want to go out.
See, a drill is actually a fantastic source for motors. This one has a 14-volt battery, which I think is pretty non-standard, but motor, gearbox, clutch, and a charger.
Let's go.
I might have to get this. How much is this?
Mom.
$3.99. That's not bad. It's no $30.
$30 blender.
Here's an $8 something. This actually might be a good thing. It's got variable speeds, which is kind of cool. I'd love to take a look at how that's working. We'll come back to it.
That's kind of scary.
A little bit. It's $12. Interesting. See, what I really want is to be able to open up all this stuff and see how it works and then decide if I'm gonna buy it. I feel like when we... Oh my gosh, why are there creepy dolls in every store?
More.
Ew, hello, I'm gonna kill you. Okay, so there's a lot of good stuff here. A lot of this stuff could be potentially useful. Lots of heating elements, potentiometers, switches, buttons, that sort of thing. I'm gonna go with the drill. Personally, I know I'm buying a lot of motors, but that's what I do mostly, a lot of mechanical projects. For someone who's more interested in electrical stuff, there's a ton of good, switches, buttons, that sort of thing. So I'm gonna pick that up. We're gonna check out and head out to the next store. In my room. Belkin power supplies. They're nice. I want to attach one to a 3D printer and make it a power recovery.
Look at those bindings. That is some old school tech right there.
Fun fact, we were gonna go skiing today, but it rained and all the snow went away and the resort closed. So now we're doing this. How do you feel? That's very interesting. Nice talking to you too. So I found some interesting stuff here. The store is not the greatest for scrounging parts, but I found this variable power supply. It outputs 16 to 32 volts. And this sewing machine for $8, I think that's what I'm gonna pick up here and pull the parts out of that. Just got out of the last thrift store and our camera just died, so we're gonna call it a day and head home, and I'll show you guys all the useful components that I got out of these. Bye. Okay, so we're back from the thrift store. I spent $16.75 to get all of those products. So let's head over to the bench and open them up, and we'll see what kind of useful parts are inside. And just so you know, I'll be using the iFixit toolkit during this video, so if you want to check out the review, I'll link it up in the YouTube card, and I'll link to the product down in the description. Let's go. Alright, I'm here at the bench, and the first thing I'm gonna take apart is the shredder that we picked up at the first store. So I got this for $3.99, and I'm hoping it has tons of really useful parts in it. Let's see. Alright, so I got the cover off, and I do actually save all my hardware, so those screws will be going to good use. So you can see we've got an AC motor, looks like here, and some sort of gearbox or maybe a pulley system with the shredder gears. So I'll continue taking this apart and see how everything looks. Alright, so I got this all apart, and it looks like we have power coming in here, and we've got our switch forward, off, or reverse. This is really interesting. It looks like these two create a path of light, and when a paper comes in there and blocks that, then it knows that there's something in the way and that it should start shredding. We've got this motor, which I'm really intrigued to look into more, and I'm gonna quick pop open this gearbox and see what's inside there as well. And yes, as you can see, it is a gearbox. So we've got the motor coming in here, feeding to another gear, which gears down and then gears down once more to go to these shredders. So I'll put this back together, and then I'm gonna keep this as one unit with the control board, just in case there's some application I might use it for, or else maybe I'll take off the leads and use the motor for something else later down the road. Alright, so I got the shredder cleared away, and from that I have a high torque motor, a board with the 2 light sensors, I got that switch, and I got that gearbox. All for $3.99. So let's move on to the printer. I'm gonna be totally honest with you, I have no idea how this thing comes apart. Alright, so I got the top loose, and I'm gonna pull it off. So you can see we've got some nice, I don't know if that's polycarbonate or acrylic or real glass, but I'll definitely save that. Could be useful for an enclosure or something later. We've got this linear motion component here, which I find really intriguing. And I'm curious to see. Yes, this is an 8mm rod. So 8mm rods are really common in the construction of 3D printers and just in low-end linear motion projects in general. So I'll definitely be saving that rod. There's this really awesome looking home sensor here, which I think must be optical because it senses when this tab goes between the 2 fins. Definitely gonna save that. Save this motor here. So I'm gonna take all that apart. Alright, so you can see that this motor becomes geared down and attaches to this belt, which goes around a pulley on the other side. And this over here is actually a belt tensioner, so that's pretty cool as well. I think I'm gonna have to cut these wires. I can't seem to find my wire strippers at the moment, so I'm just gonna use these scissors. So you can see the 8mm rod I talked about. And rather than bearings, it looked like they used bushings here, but I'll definitely save those and see if I can use them in some future project. I probably won't save the rest of this module. I think it's just the imaging sensor for the copy machine, so I probably wouldn't have a use for that. Got the sensor out. Alright, I think that's about all the useful stuff in this lid, so I'm about to pull it off. Maybe I'll try to get this belt tensioner off with a Dremel or something later. We'll see. I did find one more useful component. These hinges look like they definitely could be used on some other project, so I'm gonna pull those off. Alright, moving on to the rest of the printer. I see a lot of stuff that looks really useful down here, so I'm gonna attempt to take the cover off and get down at that stuff. Alright, so first things first, I'm gonna try to get this rod out. And this actually looks weirdly similar to a NEMA 17 stepper motor. What's up, guys? I was just transferring all of those files and my computer lost power, so I lost all the footage from that point on, which is so disappointing, but I'm just gonna walk you guys through all the different parts that I got out of the remaining items that I took apart. So out of that printer, I got 3 useful stepper motors. I got 2 8mm rods. Out of the drill, I really just kept the whole mechanism together, so we've got a motor, speed controller, gearbox, and I left the chuck on as well. And I didn't fully finish taking the sewing machine apart. There's still some more stuff to be gotten from that. But what I'm really excited is I got this motor with the pedal attached. So I have a very specific project that I want to use that for coming up for you guys. So stay tuned for that. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. That really helps me out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.